Hello, ladies and gentlemen, as Bunny says. Welcome to Minecraft. Thank you for joining me. I'm in a good mood today. I don't know why. But, take a deep breath. Hope that didn't make too much noise. My wheezing nose or anything. Sometimes if you breathe too loud, the microphone, I don't know why the microphone picks it up. I don't even breathe that loud and it's picking it up. I don't even hear a sound yet. I'll listen to a recording and be like, oh my god, I can hear myself breathing real bad. It's sort of crazy. But, anyway, thank you for joining me today. I'm looking at the house here. I'm looking at it. We're gonna finish up the basement there, the aquarium area there, but just looking at the, from the side, that looks pretty good. What about the front? I'm not, yeah, I guess that looks alright. You know what, I need some flowers. I need some decoration. I'm gonna put that down right now. Oh, I'll put these down here. Leave that one there. Take both these ones too, actually. What else do I have around here? I knew I had the... Where were they? Okay. I used the yellow before. Yeah, okay. I'll put, you know what? I need a couple of trees. That's what I need. Let me put the allium down. Right here and here. Okay, sure. There we go. Maybe one there. Just randomly. No, not that random. Right here. And maybe this, I'll put that back there. Okay, sorry about that. I was saying what you had, it was wrapped in aluminum foil. Look at this here. That's oh yeah, that looks good. A little garden going on here. That looks good. Okay, things will look a little bit better. Sorry, I'm just trying to bend it so it won't bend on its own. Okay. Oh wait, is there a little tiny zombie inside my chicken thing? Yes, there is. He's standing there with an egg in his hand. What is he doing? Look at him. I'm leaving him in there. Why isn't it? Why, I don't get it. Why isn't the sunlight burning him? It's because of the chickens are in the way? I don't know. Oh. I just wanted to throw down the egg to get rid of it, but look, a chicken appeared. Oh well. Let me do this. Okay. I'll close these gates here. Let's go down there. Oh, you know what I needed? I needed the granite. That's what I needed. Oh yeah, polished granite. I hope we have more of it. Okay, I guess well, that should be enough, I think. I had the stone, right? Yeah, okay, yep. What is that? Sound like a seagull. Okay. Sounds like more than a seagull. Say something. Oh my god. What the hell? What are these guys doing down here? Wow. They must have spawned overnight. Well, okay. Hold on. Let me Wow, that's so weird. Okay. You know what? Let me put these things in the... Let me sort out my inventory a little bit here. I was wondering what that noise was. It was them. Okay, let me... Hold on. I put the dice... Oh, I put them down here. Okay. Lock of quartz. Really? Alright. Let me just... I almost have a whole bow. Just from killing skeletons. Okay. Let me just get rid of this stuff here. Okay, I have plenty of stone. Apparently. We had dirt. Cobblestone. I have my polished... okay, I'm all good. Make one more. Make one quick pickaxe. Okay, sorry about that. I had an interruption there. Sorry. It is now raining out. I didn't realize. I just came up here and sat up here. I was doing some stuff there and I ran in here. Okay. I started fixing the wall here a little bit. That's it. But something I was just about to talk about was recently, every once in a while, well, I guess I mean, it'll be a while, but every once in a while, I'll start watching Doctor Who. You know, I haven't watched it in years. Every maybe like 3 years or something like that, I'll binge watch a season or two. But honestly, I haven't kept up on it for a long time. But I know there's the new female Doctor is coming out. I thought that'd be sort of interesting. But also, from what I understand, she's a very good actress and good actor. And I was thinking I might check it out just to see what. And I was like, all right, well, I need to catch up because otherwise, I don't remember anything that happened. Actually, I haven't seen anything that happened in the past, like, I don't know. I went back and I was like, wow, it's been something like 5 seasons I haven't seen. And I was like, okay, you know what? So I've been trying to binge watch some of them. Starting with, there's a woman, her name is, wow, I don't remember what her name was, what her name is. But she played Queen Elizabeth. I don't know if she still is, but apparently she was playing Queen Elizabeth in when BBC production. I think it's just Elizabeth. Her name is. Wow, I don't remember her name at all. But I started watching the season with her in it, and the guy Peter Capaldi. You know, more often I'll end up not watching the show as much as I'll listen to like little radio dramas. They have like great amount. By the way, if you ever want to listen to something or check something out, they'll have a lot of radio dramas of Doctor Who that you could listen to that are just awesome. And I used to listen to some of those sometimes. Those are really fun to listen to. I'd actually listen to those more than I watch the show. But I don't know how many people, I don't know whoever's listening, I don't know how many people are Doctor Who fans. I mean, I'm sorry. I guess I'm more of a lapsed sort of Doctor Who fan. You know. Used to watch the old ones a long time ago. And the new ones come on. I started watching David Tennant in the new ones. Just the very first, just to check it out. And they were good. They were pretty decent. I felt good about them. But I didn't have the time, and you know. I'll be honest. I don't think I've turned my TV on in years. And yeah, probably a few years at least. I'd say 2 or 3 years at least. And I wasn't watching very much before that. The only thing I tend to watch is like cooking shows, and I watch stuff like cooking shows. Yes, that yeah. What else was I watching? I watch some travel shows on PBS here in Massachusetts. They have PBS is it's the public broadcasting system, and it's a pure public channel, and what they do is they get total donations from the public. They get no there are no commercials in this. There are no commercials, nothing like that. Although corporations as well can donate money, it's total donations, and they get the money, and then they'll do a drive like twice a year, and they'll try to get money, and with whatever money they get, they purchase whatever programs they're gonna purchase for the next 6 months or whatever. And you know, most people say it's old fogey television. I guess it is really. I don't know, but honestly, it's a lot of stuff like some British shows and like Sherlock and stuff like that will come on there. Not a lot of British shows, but there'll be travel shows and cooking shows and documentaries, stuff like that. You know, it's not. Yeah, Nova. There's a science program called Nova, which is extremely good. That has been on for decades. And it's very, very good. And shows like that, and they used to have the old Doctor Who shows on. And I tend to honestly, people will make fun of people for watching PBS. They'll say oh, you're so stuck up. I just watch PBS. I don't watch anything else. But like when you get older, you don't really watch TV that much anymore. Well, I mean, back then, say 20 years, say 10 years ago, say 2000, people were still sort of watching television. It was only just starting to change. The internet was just starting to change stuff. But I mean, people were still using the TV. I mean, people were still watching. I mean, people still watch TV, obviously, but certainly not as much as nowadays. I could think of a lot of younger people who are just, they don't even watch TV anymore. They just totally use the internet, you know. And that's not unusual, from what I understand. But I mean, even back then, I was starting to I just don't have the time to watch TV, and there wasn't anything very good on worth watching to me. And so the few times I'd watch TV, I'd be like, you know, I just watch that type of stuff, the cooking shows and travel shows and just PBS stuff sort of agreed with me. When you get older, it does sort of agree with you. It's like, so you don't watch any of the sort of just the garbage and the crap on television. You're like, you know what? I'll just watch a documentary about so and so, or you start watching like, you know, some cooking shows, Martha Stewart or something like that. Anything, You know, Julia Child. I watch Julia Child all the time. I love watching Julia Child. And she's this cooking woman from the 50s. 50s and 60s. She had a whole, well, actually, for decades. She's a famous, in America, she's famous, like, it'd be like, she had the first sort of cooking program on in America. It was called Julia Child's The French Chef. And they really didn't have, they might have had a cooking show here or there, but there wasn't anything like hers, the way she had done it. You know what? I need to go outside. Here, okay, hold on. I want to see how far I'm getting down. And, oh, I'm actually right there. What do you know? Perfect. But, she's actually a really interesting woman. She was like, she fought for the French Resistance in World War II and stuff. So, stuff like that, weird stuff like that. She was working for she didn't fight for them. She was working for them. And she delivered some messages. She says it was, all she did was just deliver a couple messages. I think that's bull. I think she like, I think it's bull. I think she was handing stuff over. A lot of stuff. I just don't think she's a very sort of British woman. And I just don't think she like says anything about it, you know. And it's funny, I always see her and, excuse me, it was the guy who played what's his name from the Lord of the Rings? Saruman, what's his face? Christopher Lee. He also, by the way, was also a fighter for the resistance, and except he was very, I believe he was very active, and I honestly, I think he fought for the SAS or something like that. It was like linked up with the resistance and stuff like that. He was fighting for the British, you know. But I think he was an SAS operative and was working with the French resistance, you know. And it's funny, I remember he was describing something. He was talking about somebody, like when they got killed, like how they were supposed to, like, he sort of casually mentioned he wasn't, I think some director had some guy, like, get stabbed in the back or something, and the guy director was talking about, he had the guy scream, you know. He was stabbed in the kidney, and he had the guy scream. And I think Christopher Lee said something like, no, you get stabbed in the back like that, the guys don't breathe, they can't breathe. And they don't make any noise, they don't make a sound. And I was like, and when he said it, honestly, I was thinking, oh my God, he stabbed somebody in the back. Like he kidney stabbed somebody before he knows, or he's seen it done, you know. And I was like, oh my God, he's like murdering people. I was like, he's like murdering people. I mean, that's not even funny. But I was like, my God, he's like a flat out killer. You know? I was like, holy crap, he like killed somebody. Like, he just knew. Like, really knew. And I remember thinking, like, oh my God. Either he did it or he saw it being done or something. Or somebody told him. And I was like, wow. You know? And I kept thinking, between him and Julia Child, they're like, just, you know, a couple of murderers, just, you know, just acting all normal. But, you know, like they didn't do anything, and, you know, I always wondered because I think he did some kind of cooking stuff too, or something like that. I remember. I think one of his hobbies was cooking. I was like, yeah, no kidding, huh? That's where you get all those knives. That's where you get access to all those knives. No wonder you're so good at that knife work there. you know? Yeah, it was like, I just remember thinking it was sort of funny. Well, it's not actually funny, but. Hold on, let me do this. But it's funny, you think you just see these guys, these people like this, and you don't think. You think they never had any other kind of life, you know? You don't realize. You know, back then people would do stuff like that. At least that generation of people, they may look like, they may be the bus driver now, but they were, you don't often see, like, you won't see some actor now, like, be like that. Not often. But back then it was like that, it's like, yeah, it's just strange, when you see people like that, you're like, oh, he's like a favorite actor of mine or something, and you don't realize he was like knifing guys in the back in World War II, He was like kidney shotting people in them. He was like James Bond to people in World War II, Oh, that reminds me of people talking about, there was a thing about, we're talking about Battlefield, the game Battlefield, and people were saying women never fought in World War II and all this, and because they had a woman in the new Battlefield game. Now it seemed didn't seem little, it seemed very, they're trying to make it very PC, but that's actually very untrue that they didn't fight. I do know that there are a lot of there are Russian women who fought in World War II all the time. Now they would often make them part of artillery groups, and they would now artillery groups were in the back generally, but obviously you want to keep your artillery in the back away from combat, but artillery groups often got overrun and stuff like that all the time. And I'm not sure, I know that there were women who were snipers, for example. There are many Russian snipers were women who often volunteered for sniper duty. So it was a lot of Eastern Front people. Not a lot, but there were certainly a lot. Not a lot. I mean, there's certainly groups of women who were fighting, and maybe not exactly directly, but like I said, artillery groups at sea, they had to fight like anybody else, but sniper groups and things like that. Wait a minute, what did I want? Okay, yeah. But there did seem to be more about that Battlefield game, though. I mean, they could have used that as an example, but I get the feeling that they weren't even. There's a lot to be said about the Battlefield game, and what surprised me the most, I thought, was they seem to be making it like Call of Duty, the new Battlefield 5, and I was really surprised because I was like, even I don't play Battlefield, but even I sort of always thought of Battlefield as the sort of, it was supposed to be the sort of the more serious of the sort of games, like between Call of Duty and Battlefield, it was sort of the more. I guess, and I don't mean to be, I don't mean to be bad about this, but there was also a sort of, I would hear among community guys that would be like, Battlefield's where the sort of adults go to play. You know, they would say stuff like that. You know, like, you know, the adults play Battlefield and younger kids play Call of Duty. You know, but so it sort of surprised me when I saw a preview of the trailer, you know, and oh wow, I need more granite, huh? And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could solve something. I could cut out some of the granite. Well, you know what? Okay. I guess I go to the quarry there and see if I can get some granite. But it seemed like they made it really action-oriented. The Battlefield 5 like really bad. Like they were going for crazy sort of. Excuse me, I keep hiccuping. But crazy sort of action and seemingly a lot less realistic, you know, like very unrealistic. And wow, where are all these monsters? What are they all doing here? And so I was sort of looking at it thinking, why are they alienating the core audience? You know, that was a really strange decision. Even I looked at it and was like, wow, this is sort of weird. Like, that was the sort of bread and butter. That's their backbone of their audience. Seemed to be always the sort of guys who would be like, we're more hardcore, you know, or we're more realistic. Well, not hardcore, but more realistic, and you know, this type of thing. And so suddenly, having a sort of really actiony thing was, I was like, it seems sort of strange to me. One, from a business point of view, I was like, wow, why would you just, you know, I don't know, I thought it was very strange. And unless they're trying to like, unless they decided they're going to try to go after the Call of Duty audience and try to suck them away somehow. And yet, I was like, you're not going to maintain your old audience. That's like a bad decision. You know, because they'll be going after. I was like, you're trying to branch out to a new audience and not even keeping your old audience secure, you know. Oh, okay, yeah, there's plenty of it here. And it's just like, I don't know, EA just, and the only thing, you know, don't ever be fooled by EA. The only thing they see is the bottom dollar. Don't be looking at it talking about it. These guys are always talking about all these political things, that, like they're doing all these sort of really political things just because they have an agenda or something. They don't. Their agenda is money, purely money. The only way they make a decision is if, you know, somebody convinced them that their bottom dollar can be enhanced by widening their audience somehow. You know, if they said, you know, somebody had to show somebody something that said, you know, look, if we put women in the game and, you know, if we put a lot more, you know, if we have a female lead or something like that and we do this, then we'll get so-and-so amount of money more than the amount of people that we're losing. You know, and honestly, it's flat out, that's it. That's it. You just won't make a move unless it's like somebody could walk up and show them a line, and underneath that line is, you know, a number that says plus in front of it, you know. And you know, if what it does, what it speaks to me, says to me, is that they believe that there's an audience, a sort of new audience that will make them money more than what the audience that they're losing. So, and they'll only do that if they are absolutely rock solid at the numbers. They seem to be that. And so, like, somebody had to have come out somewhere and showed numbers somewhere saying, this is how it works. These are the numbers. This is what's going to happen. Like, somebody convinced somebody that. And, you know, and somebody looked at it and said, you know, will we get more money for it? Or, you know, what? We're going to get more money here? Or... And somebody was like, yep, look. Showed somebody a graph or something somewhere. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, do it. You know, somebody made some kind of convincing graph that said, you know, we'll only lose 1% of people, but we'll gain 3%. We'll gain 2.5% of our revenue and our blah, blah, blah revenue. And they were like, yep, do it. You know. The bottom dollar is money. I don't know how to convince people of that. They would not make a PC move if they thought it didn't, if somebody hadn't convinced them that it would make them money. Somewhere. You know? Because they've shown absolutely time and time again, they are only interested in money, just the bottom dollar. There's something interesting I did want to mention, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, was they were talking about, in the last E3, the Command & Conquer game that came out. And I wanted to mention something, was, and it was a mobile game, and people were just all over it, because they were just talking about how horrible it was, and how they were totally hated on it, and all this, and it was a travesty. It was really bad. But there is something I want to say, was that the problem is that should I do this? Yeah, I think I will. Okay, like that. The real-time strategy, the genre, they're like, why didn't they make a new real-time, new Command & Conquer game? Why did they make this mobile game? It was this crappy mobile game that they said they would, EA said they wanted to do Command & Conquer, but it was this, they made a new Command & Conquer game, but it was this horrible, crappy mobile game. Well, it wasn't crappy, but it was a horrible mobile game. Put it that way. Can't put torches on windows, huh? Okay. But, you know, I know that part of the reason why you won't see, put it this way, you won't see a new real-time strategy game anytime soon, or like a big one. And there's a very straightforward reason for that. And it was around say like around 2005 or so. It was around there. I remember it being around there. That was the time, again, or maybe a little earlier than that, 2004, 2003, 2002, like around there, that era. They were talking about all PC gamer developers. They kept on talking about how PC gaming is dead, right? And all developers began making, because they kept on saying all developers are going to move over to console games, console platforms, and this is going to abandon the PC. And because they're like, listen, you make twice as much money developing games for consoles because you sell more units. And it's true. You do get a lot. There is more money because there are more consoles. There's just a lot more consoles, and you'll get a lot more consoles since it became a bigger share of the market. Put it that way. So why am I falling? Oh, okay. So one of the things was that and it was around the time. That's exactly around the time games you'll pick up on PC that are. Because developers began making they began making all their games for sort of hybrid PC console game. That's about the time everything started switching over, so that it could be like the games could be played on controllers. You started seeing stuff like FPS games, like traditionally sort of FPS games for PC and stuff like that. Suddenly having, you started getting the full weapon system, like the full weapons, because it's, for a controller, because it works for a controller. Like, your inventory will have, this full weapon type of thing, like 4 weapons. You could only carry 4 weapons because, it's easier. They were doing stuff like experimenting on controllers and making it so that oh, you know what? Maybe I'll start moving some stuff in here. But so that because controllers you would push north, up north, south, east, and west on your D-pad or whatever, and switch to a weapon, stuff like that. Just anything. They started making everything sort of controller friendly, and there was also the height of like USB, and controllers finally started working on PCs and stuff like that very well. So that was another thing, and so you started getting a movement toward, like, a lot of the PC companies started to not make games for PC only, right? They started making stuff. They were like, we're still making games for PC, but we wanted to start making stuff for. Everything started being made for the console as well, because they wanted to be able to get that money. They wanted that money, right? They wanted to have to sell to the PC and consoles and get that extra money. And I don't blame them for that. But the point is that you still, as yet, don't have real-time strategy games. Absolutely, you can't play on a controller. You really can't, and you really need a keyboard and mouse. So it was it's kept alive through the sort of gaming scene, the pro gaming scene and stuff. But it's like real-time strategy games just don't work on our console. They just really don't, because you just can't play. You absolutely can't just play on it. You really need a mouse and keyboard. So here's the deal, and there's yet to be a solution for that. There's yet to be a good solution for it. There's still no good thing that'll work as a substitute for a keyboard and mouse for games that absolutely need a keyboard and mouse. I mean, Steam has tried to make that their new controller, and I don't know, I'd say that went over lukewarmly. I don't think it certainly didn't set everything on fire, but I don't think it did poorly for them. But the thing is, there are only small sort of B-level companies who are willing to make a game for PC only, and only either independent companies or like sort of medium level B companies, since there are very much fewer B companies like around, the medium level companies around. And there are very few of them who are willing to make a game that'll only work basically on a PC. It'll only sell through a PC, really. I need to stop moving some of this stuff in the house. So, if somebody makes a real-time strategy game, it's only going to be able to sell on a PC, basically. For the most part. I mean, there might be some oddball sales here and there, but honestly, for the most part, they're going to be selling. It'll only sell on a PC, really. And you know, the vast amount of money will come from PC sales. So, and no company wants to do that. None of the big companies. They will never make a PC-only game. They just won't. They absolutely won't. They won't. Even if they think they're gonna make it, even if they think they're gonna make money on it, they absolutely will not. They just won't sell a PC-only game. I'm gonna move my chest over because they're just like, it's not enough money. We won't make enough money out of it. You know, they just absolutely won't do that. So, you won't see any real-time strategy games unless it comes out from a medium level or independent company, or indie company, basically. And you'll never see it from a big company. You just absolutely, until there's some kind of a substitute for the keyboard and mouse, you will absolutely not see a real-time strategy game come from any large company ever. And it's pretty much relegated to PC only. And that's it. And companies don't want to pay for a game that they're only going to be able to sell on PC. So, unless it comes from small to medium companies, you can basically kiss real-time strategy goodbye. It's not going to be around. That's a shame, but that's the truth of it. And you'll only ever see new forms of games coming out, like on the stuff like mobile stuff, crap like that, or something, some other format, some other form. If you want a real-time strategy game like the old ones, you won't see those anymore. It just won't happen. Because they just won't do it, you know. So expect to see, if you do see a real-time strategy game, expect it to see it in something like mobile format or a smaller independent company, something like that. And honestly, I don't think you'll see any of them anytime soon. Too many of them anytime soon. You won't see big ones like Command and Conquer. You won't see those big games anymore. Not like that. So I wouldn't expect to see those anytime soon. And for right now, they're in the dustbin of history. They're just gone for right now. And you won't see a huge market. The only way you'll see it is if it's like StarCraft, made for like the gaming scene, made for the competitive scene, something like that. That's the only one that'll be around, you know. Or the big ones like that, you know. You'll never see the huge old, the ones that used to be around like that, the big name ones, and making a big market, you know, a big name for themselves. There we go. I'm just trying to move stuff around here. But that's unfortunate, you know, that's sad, but I really wouldn't expect to see anything like that anytime soon. And EA will certainly never, they will never make a real-time strategy game unless it's some kind of, unless it's, you know, something like they think they could put like microtransactions and all kinds of crap on to make money off. they will not make it otherwise. They just won't. So it's sort of basically the death of real-time strategy, really. It's gone, and you won't see it back again. The heyday of what it used to be. That's it, you know. Let's see here. But, so, you know, EA has the license for Command & Conquer, and they're not going to do it ever. So, don't expect them to ever put anything out. Just consider it just gone for now. That's just the way it is. You know, that license and those games are just, those are gone. The last real-time strategy game that I played was Age of Empires 3. And the reason why I particularly like that is because I can tailor it to myself. You could set the difficulty like plus 5%, plus 10%, plus 15%, like that, and just so you can make it. If you're playing and it's like too hard, you're like, okay, I just add 10% on. It's just perfect, you know, like that type of thing. And it comes out just right, you know. The game is incredibly old now. I do play it every once in a while. And it wasn't exactly that great in the first place, but well, I don't know. I don't play it on the hard levels. I don't know. Maybe it's better if you play it on really high difficulty. I just can't play that. One, it hurts my hands too much now, and plus two, I can't get into those games where it takes me like 3 hours to win a real-time strategy game, going crazy on it. That's just too much for me. And it's not like it was ever that good in the first place, so that doesn't make it any better, you know. But that is something I just wanted to add. Don't expect anything out of that genre. Unfortunately, for a long time, until somebody comes up with some way to make a substitute for the keyboard and mouse. Because it's like, you know what else also, another thing you see also that just disappeared is flight simulators. Simulator games like flight simulators. You really don't see them around almost anywhere now. They used to be all over the place back in the day, and now you never see them. Why? Because to really have a good flight simulator, to have it really, and the guys who like flight simulators, like me, would always wanted really, really authentic flight simulators. Like very high level authentic flight simulators are pretty, you know, pretty, not too high, but I didn't like them too high, but certainly somewhat realistic, you know. And you can't do that in a controller. You just can't. There's just no way. You need like 50 different buttons, you know. Or you need a joystick or a massive joystick or something. So you need a PC for that, you know. And that's another genre that it's like, you know, and I knew when the guys were complaining about Command & Conquer, I was like, well, that's it. That's all you're going to get. You're not going to get anything better than that anytime soon. So don't even bother wishing for it. Because it's just, they're just not going to. I mean, companies like EA they don't see any money in it, so it's not going to happen. You know, just making it for PC users is just boom. That was it. That was its death knell when that happened. When when things were only started to become, you know, started to become integrated, when you started getting various put this over there. When you start getting that, it has to be on PC and console. That's around the time everybody started complaining about, or at least computer users would complain about, the FPSs aren't the same as they were used to be anymore because nobody makes it. They're all made for a controller, you know? They were complaining about that. You can't use, there are no lean keys, you can't lean and stuff like that. They'd be all screaming about that. I was one of them, actually. I was screaming about it too. Because you couldn't. And, so it was like, in the sort of pure FPS the way they used to be, just don't exist anymore. Doesn't mean there's not good ones. There's certainly plenty of good ones. Wolfenstein, it's awesome. And some other ones, you know, that have been coming out and they've been great. But it took a while. It took a long time for them to sort of get it to that point, and to figure out how to do it on a controller. But you know, simulators and real-time strategy games, just I don't know how you would do that on a controller. I just absolutely don't. And I don't think there's a satisfactory solution to that yet. And I don't think you'll see one anytime soon. So that means you won't see. I don't think you'll see a. You know, I don't think you. No, it's too much. Okay. I don't think you'll see one of those games unless an indie company does it, or a smaller, medium-sized company does it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it 3 levels high. Like that. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, my time is way over. I'm going to end this here. Thank you for listening to me. Hope it didn't upset anybody or anger anybody. Remember, I do want you to relax. Don't. That's just my opinion, remember what opinions are like, right? Everybody has one. So, don't get all freaked out or if, it's meant to be a nice relaxing game for you to listen to. So, man, these guys are all over the place. Okay. But, that is my opinion on it. I think it's a very valid one. Very valid opinion. And, I'm not sure that anybody else has mentioned that. I don't think they've said that, brought that up. As a matter of fact, I'm almost positive nobody's brought that up. Or not that I've heard. But that's it. That's exactly why. That's the exact reason why you won't see any real-time strategy games from big places, except for the competitive circuit. They're StarCraft, like that, Otherwise, you won't see it. And if you do, it'll be a smaller, medium company that's for PC only, And if you're a console fan, you'll probably never even hear of them, or even know. Anyway, oh god, yeah, like I said, I gotta go. So, okay, thank you for joining me on Bunnysays, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So, thank you and goodbye for now.